Yesterday saw a heavy exchange of fire between the IDF and Hezbollah in the north. Clashes in Jerusalem on the second evening of the month of Ramadan. And the IDF appears to be mobilizing reserves again in anticipation of a move into Rafah in the Gaza Strip. I'm Yair Pinto, and this is your Boots on the Ground report about what is happening in Israel on the 159th day of the war against Hamas. In the last 24 hours, the terrorist group Hezbollah fired more rockets into northern Israel and also sent 2 suspicious drones into Israeli airspace. They crashed in open areas in the north of the Golan Heights. In response to this, during the night, the IDF attacked in Baalbek, deep in Lebanon, 100 kilometers from Israel's border. This is considered significant and may mark the beginning of an increase in the level of attacks by the IDF in Lebanon. The IDF also attacked 2 Hezbollah compounds in the Bekaa region, deep in the country. The compounds are associated with the Hezbollah Air Force that planned and executed various targets towards the territory of the State of Israel, according to the IDF spokesperson's office. This morning, Hezbollah launched 2 heavy barrages of more than 100 rockets into northern Israel. In response, at noon, an Israeli fighter squadron attacked the area in the Baalbek region for the second time in a day. The sites that were attacked contained significant strategic assets meant to attack Israel in the future. This included UAV munitions, warehouses, surface-to-air missiles, and anti-aircraft rockets, all of which are amongst Hezbollah's most important weapons for a battle against the IDF. The IDF also faces the challenge of Hezbollah's drones, which sometimes evade our air surveillance. These drones penetrate Israel's air defense easily, and for Hezbollah, they are an important strategic weapon that poses a danger to us since they can reach almost anywhere in the country. We have neutralized part of Hezbollah's ability to attack us during the war, and especially in an all-out war scenario where they will try to use all the means they have against us. Thus, the IDF is currently working to eliminate these 2 threats which pose a danger to us. Normally, Hezbollah's supply of weapons and ammunition comes from Iran, which smuggles it through Iraq and Syria. But Israel monitors these smuggling routes to a certain extent and has some abilities to counter the efforts of Iran to transfer arms shipments to Hezbollah. This, together with the attacks on these weapons storage facilities, will wear down Hezbollah's capabilities, and we must continue to hit them as much as possible. However, these kind of limits attacks might not provide a long-term solution, and after October 7th, we have no choice but to prepare for a significant war. When the decision is made to put an end to this significant threat in the north, the IDF will be ready to fight immediately. The home front could probably use some more reinforcement, but that's a subject for another time. In the meanwhile, I'm Yair Pinto, and I'm working hard to bring you the truth. So please help me by sharing our videos on YouTube, following us on social media, and supporting us financially so we can bring you more videos in a higher quality. Thank you for your donations. Going back to Jerusalem, tensions are high right now in my hometown. Clashes broke out between security forces and residents of eastern neighborhoods of Jerusalem on the second evening of the month of Ramadan, and there are fears of a dramatic escalation. Last night, a disturbance was recorded in the Shuafat refugee camp in eastern Jerusalem. The clashes included rioters throwing Molotov cocktails and firing fireworks directly at security forces. A border police officer responded by firing a single shot at a rioter who endangered the troops by firing fireworks at them in a direct format. The police said the suspect, a 13-year-old minor, was given medical treatment on the scene, but put in an ambulance. Sadly, he was pronounced dead on arrival at the Hadassah Mount Scopus Hospital. Meanwhile, the riot was broken up and orders were restored with no additional casualties. Let's hope that there are no more deadly encounters between security forces and residents of Jerusalem in the coming days. I want to let you know that yesterday we filmed another episode of our new series, My State, a program about current events, my belief in God, and my journey in the Holy Land. So please join us and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view it. Switching focus now to the Gaza Strip, it looks like there is no realistic chance for a deal with Hamas, which will include the release of the Israeli hostages. Therefore, it is very likely that within a few weeks there will be an attack against the remaining Hamas terrorists in Rafah, which is located on the border between Gaza and Egypt. Before making this move, the IDF will do everything it can to assist the civilian population of the city of Rafah to evacuate to other locations. The preliminary phase of this operation could begin in the coming weeks. In order to eliminate the remaining Hamas forces in Rafah, the IDF will need to once again mobilize large numbers of reserve soldiers. Even now, the IDF continues the job of clearing out Hamed. This is a neighborhood located in western Khan Yunis, which is used as a base for senior Hamas officials. Many of the most important pieces of the Hamas terrorist infrastructure are located in this neighborhood, and they are guarded by an entire Hamas battalion that has been fortified since the beginning of this war. The neighborhood is surrounded at least above ground by IDF forces, primarily the combat teams of the Givati Infantry Brigade and the 7th Armored Brigade. Elite commando units have been set in on foot during the night to root out the Hamas terrorists. It is very dangerous work and it takes time to do it right, but it is having dramatic results. The apartments of senior Hamas leaders were located and raided, resulting in the elimination of some of Israel's most dangerous enemies and the capture of valuable intelligence materials. While the commandos are cleaning the neighborhood on foot, the supporting armor and artillery units are directing fire in support, and the Air Force is also hitting targets from the air. While all of this is going on, a humanitarian evacuation route was opened through which civilians can go to shelters. This point should be repeated over and over again to push back against the lies that Israel is deliberately targeting civilians. This is not true. The IDF is protecting the civilian population of Gaza. However, some of those trying to escape were identified as terrorists, and they were arrested so they can be interrogated and provide information that will be used to plan the next steps in the IDF's operations. Soldiers of the 98th Division are active in the area of Hamed neighborhood in Khan Yunis. The brigade combat team of the commando formation continues to raid on terrorist targets deep in the neighborhood. These raids led to the discovery of enormous stockpiles of weapons, explosives, and other military equipment. Sadly, after the job against Hamas in the Gaza Strip will be done, the IDF will need to move its focus and its efforts to the border with Lebanon. Hezbollah is still a main enemy of Israel, and it is a puppet of Iran. We need to push them further north, northern of the Litani River. We have no other choice. With all of this in mind, I ask you to continue and support us as we share the truth with the world. Please share our videos on YouTube, follow us on social media, and join us in prayer for the peace of Jerusalem. Thank you for your support, and thank you for standing with Israel in this crucial moment. This is not just a physical war, this is a spiritual war, and we are stopping these enemies here in the Middle East before they reach the United States and Europe.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.